Good morning. Here, Stuffy knows it all. Um, I am sharing with you today. It's really going to be a response for a particular person who expressed that he or she believes that the SSA filed an SSI application for her when she didn't want it done and she only wanted SSD. Now, I don't know why someone would refuse to have the SSI application filed if the SSA itself says, yes, you might actually be eligible for a few $1,000s beyond what you were already applying for. That's not to say there might not be reasons. I know sometimes if it's not going to be enough for some people to tolerate the intrusions of the SSA when it comes to SSI, it is definitely more of a thumb on the pulse uh, type of situation, unlike SSD, which ironically SSD folks feel like they're, kind of thumb on the neck, but SSI is a whole nother ball game with that. So anyway, SSA generally won't take an SSI application without you wanting them to. Um, and they either have to have a signed SSI paper application from you or a signing of some sort, or an attestation over the phone with one of their staffers that indeed you're filing an SSI application. So I would find it very, very bizarre for the SSA to claim one has filed an SSI application if they have not. Now that makes me wonder, perhaps the person was going with the flow, not understanding. And then when they realized that that was what was being filed for, because people do mix up SSI and SSD all the time. Maybe then there was some resentment because the person didn't want the SSI, only wanted the SSD, didn't want to have that little extra business going on that might potentially apply other during the 5-month waiting period. Or if their SSD is pretty low, like their earnings have been low over their lifetime, maybe there would be SSA simultaneously for all the months they get SSD if there's no other, income. So, um, if you find you've had an SSI, and I alluded to this in the different video when I was trying to make people aware of what they should know before they decide not to apply for SSI if they'd otherwise be eligible. You can always request that the SSA withdraw your request for SSI, your application, and that you want to forego SSI and you want to withdraw your application. They can even do that way after the fact, after you've even been proven that you've been disabled and would be eligible for SSI. And sometimes that is an option to do, to say, even though I'm eligible for SSI during some of these months, I don't want it, because they realize that once SSD is calculated after, the SSI is going to be negated. And so there's going to be a net zero gain, just a delay in time. And we talk about that in that other video. But for anyone who's concerned, by and large, aside from you don't want that, thumb on the pulse, SSI is something that I would go along with, at least for those back few months, and get a little, because then there is no, if you're just going to get back benefits from SSI for a period of time when you weren't getting SSD, but they did determine later that you were disabled during that time and you did have an SSI application open, you'll just get a pocket of money back benefits, and then it's over. There is no thumb on the pulse anymore from SSI, because now you are only an SSD person, if that's the scenario that fits your scenario. So, and again, if you wanted them to cancel the whole thing, I would put it in writing. And as I always say, mailed certified return receipt requested. Yes, you can use a fax if you want, but I always still think that certified return receipt is best for a layperson, to have that green card later on to prove, or do a fax and do that green card. And the SSA will generally comply with that. In fact, when someone applies for SSI, so now we're doing the reverse, right? Let's say you're applying only for SSI because you were never a worker as far as you know, and you don't have any insurance status for SSD, the SSA is going to double check to see if you are potentially eligible for SSD during the time you say you're disabled, because the idea is that it is preferred that you are collecting your own benefit that you paid for, so that the SSI monies, um, the welfare is not going out to someone who has SSD or has other. So they use the SSD to, potentially come to a no, you can't get SSI, you have too much money. So it's not really that they're trying to put people on SSI. That's not the case. SSD, your own insurance benefits would be much preferred. Yeah, so this cold, I think it's just a nasty, nasty cold. It's going around. My whole house has it, except for my mom, who's 80, thank goodness. She never seems to get a cold, and I'm grateful for that. Kids out of school, everyone going to doctors, except me, because I feel mizzy, but not like I need a doctor. But yeah, my eyes are all, woo-hoo. This one keeps watering, and I could barely see out of it. That just started yesterday. So this has been going on about a week for me, maybe. And it's definitely not rolling out yet. Nighttimes are the worst, so it's daytime right now, so I feel pretty darn good. All right. Anyway, SSI, uh, they generally don't force you to file for it. And you could just say, hey, didn't tell you, but I have $3,000 sitting under my mattress. Boom, you're ineligible. Bye-bye. I mean, it's really easy to get out of SSI. No one really wants you to be collecting it anyway. Seriously, it's welfare. So it's really supposed to be for those who need it. All right. Ciao for now, guys. Bye.